Welcome to the next section here with the NCAA preview. Going to be talking about everything when it comes to the preview for the jumps. So for the long jump, high jump, triple jump, pole vault, as well as the multi. And so it's just going to be me on this segment, no guest that's going to be going along with us, but let's just jump into it as we get started because we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. So on the long jump, the winner that I have is going to be no real surprise, Matthew Bowling out of Georgia. He's got the best in the country right now with a jump of 8.25 meters. Also, obviously, the 200-meter champ indoors last year. He was 7th last year at the long jump. And so coming in with a really great jump. The only concern is that he did that early on in the season and he hasn't been able to quite replicate it yet. But now that it's going to be the biggest stage, he's the biggest name. He's been in these high pressure situations before, and I expect him to be able to perform at a high level here. Next, I have a guy that came in second last year, and that's Isaac Grimes. So he's coming in with a jump of 791. So I think he's 5th or 6th currently on the board. But like I said, he was second outdoors last year, and he's coming in with a huge jump from last season with a leap of 8.35, which was at indoors last year and also got him second place. So this guy has a very big jump that is just kind of loading and waiting with him. And so while he hasn't had that yet, I think that just shows that there's a very high possibility we can see that coming along in the very near future and might as well could be the national championship. And so performing at a high level is definitely not beyond him, and he's going to be fresh. So unlike Matthew Bowling, who's going to be doing the 200, the long jump, as well as the 400. Yeah, so he's doing the 200, the 60, the long jump, and the 4x4. So he's going to be doing a lot of events. Isaac, this is his thing. So I definitely see that he can pressure Bowling there, especially that because Bowling's going to be jumping around, no pun intended. And then the next person, so I was debating if I wanted to have this guy be second or third, and I think it's going to be very close. And the big reasoning why it's going to be close comes from who he beat last year. So the next guy I have is Kerry McLeod. He has an 807 out of Tennessee. The big reason why I definitely see him medaling, very consistent jumper, but he's the only person to beat Javon Harrison in college last year. He beat him at the outdoor SEC championship with a jump of 8.34 meters. So he's beaten some of the biggest names our sport has ever seen with Javon Harrison. And whenever you're in that conversation, you're definitely a very good jumper. And like I said, yeah, he's very consistent with the 8 meters, where Isaac Grimes hasn't been able to jump that 8 meters yet, but they both have huge jumps in them. And I wouldn't be too surprised if we can see something big. Both of these guys medaled last year. I think Kerry was 3rd place at NCAAs last year. So it's going to be a very, very tough competition and something that you should definitely keep your eye out, because these are some guys that have been here before and should be putting up some pretty massive jumps in the process. Next here, we're going to go to high jump. And so with that, I've got the winner being Kennedy Sauter of Liberty. So he's a freshman, jumping 224. Reason that I have him winning: when you're a freshman, a thing that I've heard a lot is you don't know what you don't know. So it's either he's going to be like, yeah, this is just like another meet because you're a freshman, you don't quite realize the magnitude of being at the NCAAs, or it's going to be, oh crap, I'm a freshman and I'm at the NCAAs. And so we'll have to see which kind of mindset he's going to be taking along. I'm hoping that it's going to be the first one, where it's, he doesn't quite get, the magnitude of where he's at. But I mean, he's coming off of PR. He's coming off of 2 back-to-back 2.2 meter jumps. So he's got some pretty massive jumps in his bank very recently. And I've mentioned it throughout this entire podcast. You'll hear it later on that I value when you PR very highly. And so if you're PRing towards the championship season, that's very good in my mind. Where if your personal best or your season's best is coming from earlier on in the year, it's something that you got to wonder, hey, can you replicate that? So I've got him winning. In second place, I have Vernon Turner jumping 2.23 meters. Oh yeah, by the way, these are very, very close for the entire 16 jumpers. So the leader and the last person in, so the leader's at a 2.25 meters, and then the last person in is at 2.2 meters. So they're separated by less than 3 inches. So this is going to be an extraordinarily close competition if everyone's able to jump what they're able to jump. But obviously it's nationals. That never happens. But anything can happen, really. And so I've got Vernon Turner coming in second, coming in with a 2.23 season's best out of Oklahoma. What he has going for him is his personal best. So his PR is 2.33. So he's able to get over to that 2.3 meter mark, which is huge. He was 5th last year, 4th indoor. Like I said, he's showing that he has that firepower. He's jumped really high before. And so having that, and it's not like you're coming off of a difference where like Kennedy, he's coming off a PR of 2.24. He's never jumped in the 230s, where Vernon has. He's done it before. He knows what it takes. And so that's what's going to make it really close and exciting. But I got him coming in at silver. And then 3rd place, I've got Tejaswin Shakar out of KSU. He jumped 2.25 meters this year. He was 2nd at outdoors and 3rd at indoors. And so one thing that's really positive for him is that he's been jumping 2.25 since 2018. Like, he has been jumping very high for a very long time. And so he's extremely consistent with it, where some of these guys, they've only jumped this high a few times. This might be the first season that they've ever done it. This guy's been doing it for 4 years now. So being able to do that and jumping at a very high level since your freshman year is only going to, be able to play in your favor. And so I'm thinking with his consistency, he's normally a heptathlete. He's only going, or heptathlete, decathlete. He's only going to be doing high jump. So he's going to be a lot more well rested, because that 2.25 that he jumped actually was in a heptathlon. So he had already done a lot of events, and now he's only going to be focusing on the one. So those are going to be the top 3 guys that you got to look out for. Should be an exciting high jump competition. So definitely tune in for that. Next, let's get into the triple jump. So for triple jump, I've got the defending champion, Emmanuel Ihaji of Oregon. Sorry if I butchered your name. He's coming in with the jump of 16.69. So he's 6th or 7th right now, but he shows up when it counts. So he PR'd by like a meter his freshman year to win the national championship. And then he got another national championship with a jump of 17.16 at outdoors. And so this guy shows up when it matters the most. He's back-to-back champion for a reason. He's got ice in his veins. I can't go against him because he's just someone that he shows up when it counts. Next, we've got Shingadi Mapoya of TCU, 16.8 meters. This guy is a lot like Andre DeGrasse, where it's like there's 3 things certain in life: death, taxes, and Andre DeGrasse medaling. Same thing here. This guy is always finding a way to get in that top 3. He was 3rd in outdoors last year, 2nd in indoors last year. He won in 2019, and he was 3rd in 2019 indoors. And I think he was also 3rd. He was 3rd in 2019 outdoors as well. So he's got a lot of medals and a lot of experience. I would not be surprised if he wins this, because he's been there, he's done that, and he's medaled. One thing that's guaranteed, he's definitely medaling. Where it's going to be, who knows? But he's definitely going to be taking home the championship there. Then last, I have Sean Dixon Body of LSU coming in with a jump of 16.64. He was 4th in outdoors, and he was so he's definitely coming in with a very, very good jump. He's been doing very well this year. He's pretty consistent. It's just that these other 2 guys have been able to jump at the highest level, and I can't really go against these, when you got people that are jumping crazy long for a crazy amount of time. So we're going to have Sean coming in at 3rd there. Next, let's go and swing on over to the pole vault. So this is my favorite event that I'm definitely excited to see. The the top three guys are going to be putting on a show here. So Zach McWhorter, I have winning out of BYU. He's got a jump of 5.85 meters. He's been extremely consistent in that 5.7 to 5.8 range. He was second in indoors this past year, and he didn't do very well at outdoors. He kind of choked. He jumped, I think it was like 540. It was something well below what he's normally expected to do. So I foresee that he's going to be coming back, bouncing back, and doing really well. I mean, all these guys have competed against each other their entire life, so they know, their jumping tendencies inside and out. So the competition is going to just feel like a normal one for all of them. Next, I have Sondre Guttormson of Princeton. He's coming in with a jump of 5.82 meters. And so he's shown some major improvement this year. He's got a lot of PRs. He's been improving by, he was jumping 570 last year. And so now he's all the way at 582, which once you're at these high heights is a massive PR boost for him. He's also training with his brother. And so I'm sure they're pushing each other a whole lot. Simon's here as well. I think he's seated 7th or 8th. And so it's going to be a very close competition. Sondre, he's usually more consistent around the 560 range. So he's a little bit lower consistency wise than Zach, but he has that possibility of always popping that, 580 jump. Wouldn't be too surprised if we saw 590 take it today or this weekend. Then closing up third, I have Zach Bradford out of Kansas. He's coming in with the 575. His PR is 581. He's jumped very high before. He came in 5th in outdoors and 3rd in indoors. This guy's been dying for a national championship. I mean, he's someone that I'm sure he might be listening to this and saying, Colin, why aren't you picking me to win? It's hard when you got these other two guys, but he's someone that is super, super competitive. He really wants to take home the championship. And I wouldn't be too surprised if he does. He's been collecting records left and right this entire season. He's been on a roll. I'm hoping that he can take home the gold. We'll see. I like all three of these guys. I've been able to meet all three of them and have conversations with them all. So I'm hoping that it should be a good competition as well. Closing out the men's side, we're going to go over to the heptathlon, and the real story is between the top two. Third place I have as Andre Isavayas of Princeton. He had a huge PR, 300-point PR at Ivies with a score of 6,036. That's great. I think he should be good, but the real story is between the top two guys, which is where I want to spend a little bit more time with. So it's between Ayden Owens and Kyle Garland. So Ayden Owens of Arkansas, formerly of Michigan and USC, Kyle Garland of Georgia. Ayden Owens put up the number 2 ever mark with 6,272. Kyle Garland put up a massive PR with 6,205 at SECs to win that. Ayden Owens didn't compete at SECs for the heptathlon. He just competed in the hurdles and I believe the 4x4. And so he's going to be coming in a little bit more fresh. They're 1-1 in head-to-head matchups in the heptathlon. Garland was second last year, beating Ayden Owens, who was third. And so it's going to be so close, man. Like, this is going to come down to the wire. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see, a potential national record to win this thing. I'm going with Kyle Garland with the win. I mean, both of these guys are PA boys. Garland coming out of the Eastern PA. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to go down to the wire. I would not be surprised if this is going to be settled by who just runs the 1500 faster. Like, it's probably going to be they're separated by 1 or 2 points, and it's just going to be whose 15's better. Like, that's probably what it's going to come down to. It's going to be super exciting. Looking forward to seeing who wins that heptathlon. Two very, very talented athletes. And Ayden, I think, is going to be on that 4x4 as well. Or possibly. And then let's go on over to the women's side. So for the women, we're going to start with long jump. I got Jasmine Moore winning. I'm actually going to have her doubling. Spoiler alert. She's going to win triple jump, I think, as well. Coming in with the 675 that she jumped at SECs. So once again, you're PRing at the time that it matters the most. She was third in outdoors last year. And so I think that she's just been getting better each meet. Like, every meet she's been performing at a better and better jump. that goes for triple jump as well. And so I just see her coming home with the championship. You know, when you're performing better each week, why wouldn't you continue that at the highest level? Next, I've got Deborah Akua of Texas A&M. I know I'm butchering these names. I freaking hate it. But I have her jump. She's coming in with the 664 jump. Personal best is 681. So she's got a really big mark in her tool belt. She can definitely put together some really far jumps, and she's very consistent. She's very consistent around that 6.6 meter mark. And so once again, consistency and what your personal best is and when you're jumping, those are all things that I like to see and can be good telltale signs of how you're going to be performing at nationals. And so I have a feeling she's going to be putting together a really good jump, hopefully somewhere in the 6.7s. And then third, coming off of the star power, she hasn't been jumping extremely well so far this year, but I got Tyra Gittens, who is coming in with a season best of 6.42. What she has going for her is her personal best is the best on the board. She has a 6.96 personal best, and she's the only one that's going to be doing and she's only doing long and high jump, because obviously she's the pentathlete, came from Texas A&M, now just competing for Texas. For indoors, she's only doing the long jump and high jump, where she typically does pentathlon, long jump, high jump, only doing the long jump and high jump. So she's going to be very fresh. And so I wouldn't be too surprised she puts up a massive season best and challenges that 7 meter mark. Because it was really her and Tyra Gittens last year. And that's not Tyra Gittens, sorry. Tara Davis last year. And so I wouldn't be surprised, you know, now that she's not there, she's going to want to be pushing and win that championship. So it's going to take a very far jump, I feel, to win this thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a 680, 685 to win it. So Jasmine Moore, if she wants to do that double, she's going to have to jump a season's best, or at least a personal best for sure, to win it. Then let's go on over to the high jump. So just mentioned her name. I got Tyra Gittens winning the high jump. She's coming in with a jump of 1.88 meters. She came in third outdoors. Obviously she seemed to be really tired coming off of the heptathlon and doing the long jump and the high jump. She scored the most amount of points last year at outdoors. Once again, she's going to be fresh. She hasn't competed too much this season, and she's also got only the long and high jump that she's focusing on. So I think she's going to want to have some redemption, be able to get that double and win. Hopefully we'll see some good jumps, because just like on the women's side, like on the men's, it is very, very close in between all 16 of these competitors. Next, I have got Lamara Dostin of Texas A&M coming in with a jump of 192. She actually won SECs with that jump, and she's extraordinarily consistent. So she's been very consistent over those 190 bars. And once the bar gets up to be that high, you know, it's very important. Like, are you able to consistently jump at a high level? Once again, that's what it takes to be a national champion. Then I have your outdoor national champion from last year, Rachel Glenn, coming in sophomore, friend of the show, season's best of 1.88 meters out of South Carolina. I'm thinking that she's going to want to replicate what she did last year. She hasn't jumped as high as she's wanted to so far in indoors. You know, still early on in the season, so don't really blame what's going on so far. But yeah, just the fact that she's won at this level before, and I think that's really what it takes. Another thing that really determines how well you're going to do, how well have you done in the past. And so she knows what it means to be a national champion. She did it in her freshman year, and so she's a very confident athlete, and I think that she's going to be able to take home another medal for herself. Then let's head on over to the triple jump. So like I mentioned before, we're going to be having Jasmine Moore winning it. She's your national champion. Of course, she's going to win it. She's been once again getting better each and every week. And so I see no reason why she's not going to win. Don't need to spend too much time on her. When you're the national champion, of course, you're going to be the favorite there. I'm not sorry. When you're not the national record holder, of course, you're going to be the favorite there. Then we have a lady that we thought was the national record holder until we found out that there was a measuring issue, and that is Ruth Usoro of Texas Tech. She's coming in with a season's best of 1366, which is seeded 6th right now. But her personal best is 14.5 meters. I mean, there's a reason we thought that she jumped the national record for a reason, because she's done it. She's done very, very good times in the past, or very long jumps in the past. She's on my Bowerman list. She's one of the top ladies coming in at this competition, focusing in on the long and triple. She hasn't had a great jump yet, and I think that means she's due. So why not do it at the national championship? Then finishing up the triple jump, I have Natrisa Hoop of Florida. Sorry. So she's coming in with a jump of 14.10. She was second at SECs to Jasmine Moore. She jumps 13.90 very, very consistently. She's up there in the top jump. So she's going to make Ruth like have to put together a very good season's best here, as well as everyone else. Because when you're consistent near those 14-meter marks, you can always break something big. And Florida's got some great jumpers. I'm sure they're practicing against one another, really, really, putting together big jumps. Their coach is fantastic. Obviously, Florida's kind of known as Jump U, and so they're going to be putting together some crazy jumpers there as well. Now we're going to go over to the pole vault. And so that is going to be, this is one of the hardest ones to pick. I'm actually going to go with Lisa Gunnarsson of LSU, defend her title. So she's the outdoor and indoor champion. She's just stone cold. If you ever look at her jumping, she's just staring at, she's just got no emotion. She's just rock solid. Nothing phases her. Coming in with the season's best of 451. She's jumped 460 before. And so I think the fact that, she's been a national champ, she doesn't get phased. She knows what it takes to perform at a high level. She's got to win. Then for second place, I have Rachel Baxter of Virginia Tech with a season's best of 461. She did that at ACCs. Big thing for her. I mean, she no-heighted at outdoors last year, so she wants to definitely redeem herself, saying, "Hey, I messed up last year, but that's behind me. Let me prove that I'm better than that and do and have a really good competition." She's been consistent around that 445 range, but once again, she PR'd when it mattered the most at your conference championship. Can you replicate that, or at least be around that area? If you can, you're definitely in the conversation for medaling, and I think that she'll be able to do it. Last one, I've got this Natasha Campbell of Arkansas coming in with the season's best of 446. And so talking about a redemption story, this is the lady that needs it the most, because last year she was coming in as one of the best vaulters. She jumped 457, but she didn't even make it out of the Western prelims. She jumped a 404, came in 18th place, and she didn't ever end up qualifying for the outdoor championship. And so she definitely wants some redemption. I mean, she's got some really good jumps so far. She's been fairly consistent around that 445 range. So I know that she definitely is look, I can't let what happened in outdoors happen again. Let me have a really big jump. She's a sophomore this year, so she got that nervous tick out of her early. So I bet you she's going to be redeeming herself and having some really good jumps here. Then let's finish things off with the pentathlon. And so the winner here should come at no surprise. Anna Hall out of Florida. She's 200 points better than the entire field. PR'd at SECs with a jump of 4,000, or with a combined score of 4,618. She's on another level, and she's unworldly consistent. She could be doing the high jump if she wanted, but she's not. If you remember, I think it was at the trials. She fell on one of the first hurdles, got injured, and she's back. That she was competing for Georgia, now for Florida. And so I'm really excited to see how she does. She definitely wants some redemption from when she fell, and I think she had some type of ankle injury. I'm excited to see how she's going to be doing this year. Then out of Texas, teammate of Tyra Gittens, who isn't competing in the pentathlon, which kind of wish she was, because then I really wanted to see that Anna Hall versus Tyra Gittens battle again. But we got her teammate, Christine Blazavera, freshman. And so she's coming in with a personal best of 4,402. She won the Big 12 championship. And so both of these ladies are coming off of personal best. For her to win, she would have to hope that Anna Hall has a few missteps on her competition, but otherwise, I think that she's just been pretty consistent with where she's at this year. That you know, she's performed at a high level. She's only a freshman as well. You don't know what you don't know. And then the last person that we have here, I've got Ayden O'Brien out of Notre Dame coming in with the personal best of 4,324. She hit a massive PR at ACCs. Big 200-point jump for her. And so she's got to be on cloud 9 right now. Like, look, I just hit the best ever combined score of my entire life. We're going into the national championship. We're seeded 3rd. I'm living life. This is a fantastic feeling for her. So being that, having that confidence, that's like massive for me. And so I'm thinking she's going to be able to perform at a high level as well. And then that's going to be the starting 3 for the pentathlon. But yeah, that's going to do it for us here with the jump section. Up next, I believe, is going to be distance. We're joined by our newest addition to Track World News, Colin Kelly. We're going to be discussing all things distance related. So hope that you enjoyed that. Hope that you guys liked this jump section. And I will talk to you in a second. Peace.